Have you ever built a new home, but then was bullied and harassed by the builder? Well, that's what happened to me. I'm a 100% disabled Navy veteran and a grandmother. My father was an Army veteran and a police officer killed on duty when I was small. My mother retired from the police department. I've always been civilized. So it took me by surprise when I was bullied and harassed by a national home builder. Then I reached out to them for an explanation with a no reply. So I just recorded it. I chose this lot last year and built with Ryan Homes, and I closed March 30th. Before I closed, I brought up to the senior construction manager about the line issues, but he swore that he was bound by contract to fix it, and it's still not fixed. When I closed, the neighbors' homes on both sides of me and the front were still under construction. So I was prepared for the construction activity that was going to take place over the next several months. So over the next couple months, I was moving in. I was in the house most of the time, but when I did come outside, I noticed my lawn always looked a mess, and the construction workers would giggle when they saw me. I would always pick up the trash, but the next day there was so much more of it. They started blocking my driveway. I couldn't get out. And here I was being blocked by both construction vehicles. The red truck saw me trying to get out, but he pulled forward. So I pulled back in the driveway to give him the right of way. And he stared me down on the way out. So the next day, I sent customer care an email regarding the curb grass, the driveway, and the trash on my lawn because they were getting worse. So the next day, the white hard hats came out and looked around, but they never said anything to me. Next day, it was worse. People were just walking across my lawn, pulling all kinds of equipment across my lawn. They don't even block empty houses like that. January 6th energy. That's how the curb died. He's a cleaner for Ryan Homes. This is a view from my ADT camera. The coworker comes out, he sees it, turns his head. So I sent the second email to them asking, why all this negativity? They still didn't answer, but then the maintenance supervisor called me and said they were placing signs around my yard that said, do not park here. And I don't blame the maintenance supervisor. He was just doing as he was told. Matter of fact, if it wasn't for him, nothing would get done. So I said, I'm going to be the only one in the community with signs, the only one in the community being harassed, when you could just tell them to stop. But they insisted on putting the signs out. Then suddenly, vendors, local companies, and construction workers all started blatantly blocking my driveway with the sign. So the sign wasn't to help me, it was to help strangers find my home to harass me. So the three homes around me are still under construction, but they choose to park in my driveway and walk the extra distance to get to the home next door. Now this one is driving down the street, but he forgot to harass me. So he backs all the way up to block my driveway. And this is a white hard hat. One of the construction trucks was blocking my driveway, so I hit him trying to get out. And here, his co-worker coaches him to move the van forward before the sheriff got there. He's walking across my lawn, spitting on my grass, but you'll be able to see that the sidewalk works. So there was no reason for him to even be on my property. This is a Ryan Homes employee or affiliate, but everybody else is using this sidewalk that day. I don't know any of these people. The only people I know from the construction department are the senior construction manager and the project manager. Those are the two common denominators. They were also told they could use my water even though I was living there and paying the bill. I didn't even realize it until my cameras were installed. I think about the past 5 months or so, how many times Ryan Holmes NVR could have reached out to me and I never heard anything. This is targeted nonverbal harassment. They never say anything, they just act out in aggression towards me. With them, it's not like you can go up the chain of command and get some results because they're all on the same integrity level. And I know that because the attorney reached out to them, I reached out to them, the sheriff reached out to them, and they continued the harassment. This guy right here had my driveway blocked for over an hour and a half. And I called the police. It took the police a while to get there. Meanwhile, he's prancing around in arrogance. So I needed to leave, and the police hadn't yet arrived. So I'm blowing my horn. Everybody who's outside hears it, except for the one blocking my driveway. He's in the other house somewhere. So I had to drive across the neighbor's lawn. Thank God he hadn't moved in yet. At this point, it looks like he's the only one even on the street. I wasn't even back home yet, and he's just out there. Besides the harassment against me, it's actually a quiet street and neighborhood. This is the senior construction manager. He was called over by the sheriff when the sheriff got there. And they were trying to get to the bottom of the harassment issue. And he thinks it's so funny He's the only one laughing. He always thinks harassment is funny. But I have to applaud the sheriffs that came out. They were unbiased, they were very professional, they were very kind, and they did get to the bottom of it. And then after the meeting with the sheriff, instead of them ceasing the blocking of my driveway, they just started blocking half of the driveway. So that just confirmed for me who's collaborating the harassment. This is a side view of his truck backed up to my property. I didn't even know what this guy's job was besides blocking me until a couple months later, after my AC stopped working twice after closing. They had to cut the drywall to fix it. He showed up to fix the drywall, acting cool like we didn't have an abusive past, and found out he doesn't even speak English. I had to sign language everything. Imagine that. But I didn't harass him. This is Royalty Lawn Care. They're a lawn care company in the community. They're not very royal because every time they came to cut my neighbor's lawn across the street, they blocked my driveway. Every single time they came out. So I posted a review of their company online that stated they were blocking my driveway every week that they came out. And then they stopped. But then a couple weeks ago, since they're reoffenders, they started doing this. So they're going to start back up eventually. Reoffenders never stop offending. They just change the way they offend after they're caught. Blowing dirt on my house, blowing dirt towards my house and trash. When you have a company and you hire low people with a low character, they will bring your company down low. Now, he left that dirt right there and the rain had to wash it away. If they spent as much time building homes as they did harassing, the homes would be better and the customers would be happier. So this is the next phase of harassment I was talking about. After the attorney sent Ryan Holmes NVR the letter demanding they stop the harassment and destruction of my property, then they started doing this. Just pulling into my driveway every day. Different trucks, work trucks. They're working on lots about 8 houses down at this point. So they're done with construction in this area. He came a long way. He passed a lot of empty houses to go into my driveway like this. And listen to this clip. This is my project manager at the final walkthrough. You could be a victim.
Back on up, and then it's going to stop.
Yeah.
Okay? If you're regularly doing that maintenance, you typically will never run into that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What is that thing sitting in the bag right there? Above, in front of you?
I don't know what that plastic is, but then that's a little guide from the vendor from Strata. So a little homeowner guide right here. So registration information, as well as some information from the Lennox system themselves. And then Strata right here, air filter, pay registered warranty. Your new construction, your warranty is already registered with Ryan Homes. You do not need to register the warranty on this or on the outside unit or on the water heater. The only one thing you have to register is GE appliances. Okay. Any question on the mechanical closet?
Nope.
Make sense? Okay, you peeked in the study.
There's no telling how many other people he told that lie to. I'm just glad I caught it in time. There's so many other clips and companies that didn't make it into this video. I just wanted to give you a sample. Thanks for watching.
Quiero yo hacerte el amor en la cama, porque tú sabes que tú eres mi dama. Ey, tienes día que te gusta, tú sabes que tú eres mi princesa. Yeah, yeah. Vente pa' acá, mamá, tú sabes que yo soy una dama. Quiero atentarte en mis brazos, darte lo que quieras, mi amor, no perdóname. Saliendo todos los días con mis panas, fumando marihuana, bebiendo y pimpeando, jangueando. Yo sé que eso a ti no te gusta. Saliendo todos los días con mis panas, fumando marihuana, bebiendo y pimpeando, jangueando. Yo sé que eso a ti no te gusta. Tú y yo, en la cama tú y yo, quiero hacerte el amor. En la cama tú y yo, quiero hacerte el amor.